and welcome to episode 21 of the Noble Character Crafts podcast. My name is Amy, and I am coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live on a farm with my husband and our 5 children. This is a podcast all about my life as a knitter, a crocheter, and a hand dyer of yarn. A huge welcome to any new or returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Today is Monday, April 2nd, 2018. You can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts. You can find me on Ravelry at Noble Character. And I also have a group for this podcast on Ravelry under Noble Character Crafts Podcast. So I would love it if you would join me over there. You can also get in contact with me through my email, which is noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. I am currently hosting a make-along that is called the I Think I Can Make-Along. And that is for any project or craft or skill that you would like to try your hand at that you have never tried before that is intimidating to you. So there are several different options for this. For example, many people have tried crocheting for the first time or sewing for the first time. Somebody just entered a sewing project recently. That was so exciting to see. Or spinning for the first time, or knitting for the first time, or any kind of a craft like that you've never tried before. Or it could be a specific skill within one of those crafts. For example, my 2 goals for this make-along were to do a brioche project and also a steeked project. So those are my skills that I want to conquer because those were both very intimidating to me and still are in some ways, but I am working my way through conquering those 2 skills. So I have completed a brioche project and I am currently working on a steeked project. So if you have any skill or craft or particular skill that you have never tried, that you've been putting off because it seems way too daunting for you, this is your opportunity to try it. The make-along goes until the end of this month, April 30th, and there is a chatter thread as well as a finished object thread in the Ravelry group for this make-along. So I would be so happy to have you join in on the conversation and to enter any of your finished projects in the Ravelry thread. So if there is anything that you'd like to try your hand at, pick it up and give it a try. You have a month to do it, so there's plenty of time to still join in, and I would just love to have you. If there are any makers out there that would like to contribute a prize for this make-along, I would be so excited to have those to give away for the prizes. And again, you can get in contact with me through my email at noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. So thank you so much for joining me again today. I am very excited to be with you today, and I'm so excited to show you my finished object for this week is my lily cardigan. Yay! I'm so excited that it's done, and I'm so pleased with it. So this is a wonderful pattern by Amy Self-Lindland of Amy's Little Kingdom podcast, and she also has a few designs on Ravelry. And this has just been my most favorite project from start to finish. There, not to say that I didn't have any hiccups. There were a few, well, not really too many, but the binding, the band along the neckline was the only thing that really gave me any trouble. But besides that, I have thoroughly enjoyed every single stitch of this project, and I am so pleased with it. So this is a open front cardigan. It doesn't have any buttons on it, so that that's meant to be worn open, and it is made with fingering weight yarn. I used Knit Picks palette, which is fingering weight 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and I used the Aurora Heather colorway. I used a total of 365 grams to complete this project. And I am just so thrilled with it. I can't express how excited I am to have a garment that I love and I know I will wear. This is the 5th garment that I have ever knitted. And I made 3 different sweaters, or yeah, they were all sweaters, pullovers for my children. And none of them turned out how I wanted them to. They're all wearable, either now or in the future, hopefully will be worn at some point, but none of them turned out the way that I wanted them to. And then I also made a cardigan for myself last summer, but I do not like that at all. I will never wear it. So it's a failure. But this is definitely not. I love it. It turned out better than I could have imagined, and I know that I'm going to get so much wear out of this project. So I'm super thrilled with it. Okay, let me just stand up to give you a better view of it. So yeah, there's one of the pockets. There's 2 pockets. Now I was a little concerned last time I showed you about this this section right here kind of coming up, and as you can see, it blocked out pretty well. It's not perfect. I was a little bit concerned that this was going to go up a little bit, and it still does kind of go up a little bit, but it's not terrible. I'm happy with it. So the ribbing is all 1x1 twisted ribbing all along the bottom and on the pocket and on the cuff. Right here, I could probably block the sleeves out a little bit better too, because you can kind of see the join right there on both of them. Kind of goes up a little bit, and I didn't pin that down at all. I just blocked it and laid them flat. So I could reblock those a little bit. The cuff is a little bit big. You know, it's not very cinched in. I find myself kind of squeezing it to try to get it to go in a little bit. And I actually did decrease a little bit more than what the pattern had called for, but I wish I would have decreased even a little bit more just to take in the wrist area. I mean, it could be taken in about 2 more inches yet to get, you know, a more snug fit, which I would prefer. But, you know, and I could easily rip that back and make it smaller, but I don't know that I will. It's not too, I mean, I can still roll it up and it stays. It's not sliding down when I roll it up, so it's fine. I love the length of the sleeve. It's a little bit longer, and I just love that. As I've mentioned before, I'm pretty tall, and it's very hard for me to find any garments that are long enough in the sleeve, so that's a huge plus. So here, I'll show you the back a bit. You can see the cabling along the back here. Kind of. I'll try to go back here a little bit more. Okay, maybe, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well with the glare of the sunshine coming in, but anyway, you can kind of see how long it is. So I love the length of it. I'm just so happy with it. It is so cozy and warm, but yet it's lightweight because it's fingering weight, so it's not too terribly heavy or anything. I am just so, I can't say it enough. I'm so excited about it. So, yay! It's done! So I started this on, sorry, hopefully that was a good enough, gives you a good enough idea of how the fit is. I did post some pictures of me wearing it on Instagram as well, so that you can check that out if you haven't seen those yet. And there's these nice cabling along the front too, I didn't mention, but such a beautiful cable along both sides and the front too. Oh, I love it. I am just so excited. I can't tell you. So also, I wanted to mention that the other garments that I have made that have not worked out have all been, none of them have been top-down seamless, and this was, and this is the way to go. I am all about top-down seamless sweaters because you can try them on and you can see how the fit is as you go, and that just makes a huge difference. So the first sweater I made was supposed to be for my oldest son, and that ended up being only big enough for my middle child, who is a girl. So the color was blue. I mean, she can obviously still wear blue, but it wasn't what I intended. Anyway, that one was a bottom-up pieced sweater. So, you know, I was making all these pieces. I, was kind of holding it up to my son. I thought it would be okay. It does fit him. It's just a little tight. I mean, it's just not a good fit. Anyway, and then, you know, like the sleeves, it's so hard when they're seamed because you're trying to hold it up and you can't really tell if it's going to be the right length and where's it going to join, and it's so hard to know. And then anyway, so that didn't turn out how I wanted it. And then the next two sweaters that I made for, well, I think the next sweater I made was my cardigan. That was also a bottom-up piece sweater. So again, I couldn't try it on. I really didn't have any idea. The fit is actually okay. It's just I used the wrong kind of yarn, really. And it doesn't lay nicely. It's not flattering at all. Anyway, and then the other two sweaters that I made for two of my other sons were in the round, so seamless, but from bottom up again. And so again, it was hard to tell. And the problem that I had was with the length of both the sleeves and even the body of the sweater a little bit. That's not quite so bad, but and also the fit around the waist is a little bit tight. I don't know. Anyway, it was just a little bit harder to try those on and get a good idea of how they were going to fit. But this, I was just constantly trying it on as I was going and making sure it was good, and I really didn't have to make any adjustments. It was fitting well the whole time, which was awesome, but it's nice to know that if it hadn't been fitting well, I could have gone back and adjusted it. But the sleeves, you know, I'm so happy that I was able to try the sleeves on as I went to get it to the right length that I wanted so that it would be nice and long and cozy on my arms. So anyway, I'm just so thrilled with the construction of this and how it turned out. This was made on size, what size? Size 6 needles, which are 4mm, and then the ribbing was done on size 4 needles, US size 4, which are 3.5mm. Is there anything else I want to say about this? I was able to enter this into the Garments Galore Cal that Kate of Hawthorne Cottage Craft and Selma of Little Big Knits podcasts were hosting. I was able to enter that before it ended on March 31st, so I'm so excited about that. And I was even able to enter this into Kate's extra thread for the Mount Everest, I think it was, she called it, which was for any garment that you made using over, I think, 1,400 meters of yarn, and I used over 1,500 meters. So anyway, I'm just thrilled. I'm just absolutely thrilled. This is also the third knit that I have completed from my Make 9 for this year. So that is super exciting. So I completed I can never pronounce it right. I'm so sorry, Madeline, but I don't remember how to pronounce it. The stracciatella is how I say it, but I know that's not right. I'm sorry. But I've completed the stracciatella shawl by Madeline of Kingfisher Knits. I've completed the Time Trade shawl by Caitlin Hunter, and now this one. So, yay! My Make 9 has changed quite a bit already, but I'm so thrilled that I've at least gotten 3 of those things that I had set a goal for this year done already. So 3 months down out of the year and 3 completed projects off my Make 9 list. That's pretty good. So, I'm just so thrilled. I'm on cloud 9 about this. So, bind off one project, cast on 2 new ones, right? That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what I did. So I have been so anxious to start this project, and I showed you my yarns for this and showed you the pattern for this, I don't even know how many weeks ago, quite a few weeks, at least 3, I bet 3 podcasts ago, I showed you that I wanted to do this project. This is in my, I don't know how to pronounce this either, Tanai Casey project bag. I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I love it. It's a corduroy fabric up here on the top, which is so wonderful. I just love it so much. This bag is so durable, and it's lined with this heavy canvas, and it's just so solid. I love it so much. Okay, I finally started the Transitions shawl by Hand Knit by Cam, which I am just thrilled with. It is such a fun, mindless knit, and I'm loving the colors, and I'm just absolutely loving working on this. So I have already made quite a bit of progress on this. I'm super excited about it and loving it so much. quite a few little ends here, but I'm actually carrying the yarn as much as I can, but there's a few, you know, color changes that you can't help the yarn to be cut. Anyway, this is a beautiful, I love the shape of this shawl. So, you know, this is the shape and it will just get bigger and bigger, obviously. But I love the shape of this. Is it like a 3/4, maybe a 3/4 shawl? I'm not really sure. But anyway, I love how it's a little bit more than just a half circle, so that it will really drape well over the shoulders. Can you see how that will lay over the shoulders really nicely? I think I'm going to absolutely love the shape of it. So this is made using all of my own hand-dyed yarn. The main color, which is this lightly speckled colorway, is called Thought. And this is on my new Solace base, which is an MCN base, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And oh, it's so wonderful. I love this base so much. Fingering weight, these are all fingering weight. But all of the different bases, all of the different colors are on different bases for this. So that's kind of fun to mix and match with the different bases. So the next color I'm using is this peach color, which is called Humble. And it is on my Pitter Patter base, which is 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. And I just love the color of that peach. I want a whole garment in this, I think. And then there's these stripes of this lightly speckled color, which is on my Twinkle Toes base, which has gold stellina in it. And this is on my Integrity colorway. So it's very similar to the Thought colorway, if you can compare them. But the Integrity has some light or coral speckles in it as well. So it goes really well with the peach. It just kind of ties it together. And I love that there's just a bit of sparkle that is being knit into this. And then the last colorway, this deeper beigey tan color, is my Good Sense colorway. And this is actually on a test base that I am not offering in my shop right now. It was just when I was sampling. It is 70% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. So, and it's a 2-ply, and it's really nice. And I'm so tempted to offer this base as well, but I have 9 bases in my shop right now, and at this point, that's enough. So unless I take one of my other bases away, I probably won't be bringing this one in anytime soon. Unless there's a huge, request for it from any of you. If you'd be super interested in trying this base out, I could, maybe just on a case-by-case basis for now, but just let me know if you'd be interested, I guess. But anyway, I'm loving these colors all together. I have this Shell Progress Keeper on there that I just put on there to show me the front as I was getting started, the right side. But I've just left it on there because I think it just goes so well with the colors in the shawl. I was really going for something that would be springy, summery colors and really light, and I'm just really loving how this is working up together. Oh, I love it, and it's my favorite project right now. Well, yeah, it's my favorite project. Since I cast or bound off the Lily cardigan, this was my treat to cast this on, and it is a treat. I am using size 3 needles as the pattern calls for, which are 3.25 millimeter. All of my needles are ChowGoo red lace, or I also have the mini twist set that I use for my socks primarily. But I use all ChowGoo needles, so. I am on, so in this pattern there are 4 sections of stripes. So I have done, in the stripes, I think, yeah, the stripes keep getting thicker or wider as you go. So I've completed 2 of the striped sections. The first one is very thin, and then as you go into the second one, the stripes get wider, and they'll continue to get wider as you go, as you grow the shawl, as the shawl grows. So anyway, I put this on a longer cable today to be able to show you, but it is kind of hard to show you fully, but it's pretty good. You can pretty well see it. So yay, thank you so much for this gorgeous pattern, Cam. I absolutely love it. Such a wonderful knit. It's making me very happy to work on it. All right, my next work in progress is also a new cast on. It is in my Creative Frenzies project bag. And this is for another one of my contributions for the I Think I Can Make Along. It is my Steeked project. And this is also, I'm also going to enter this into the knit along that Amber of Maker's Haven and Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast are hosting for a bag make along. Because I am making the Ms. Money Bags pattern, which is by Morag Mackenzie. Is that right? Vintage Pearls Design. I hope that's right. I'll put it down below if I'm wrong. But here is a picture of the pattern. It comes with these 2 different color work charts that you can choose from. I am making the butterfly one, and it is so much fun. I haven't done a color work project since December, and I've really missed it, and I am enjoying it so much. So for the main color, I am using Knit Picks palette again in the black colorway. A few people asked me how I liked this yarn for my cardigan, and now I'm using it again, and I really, really love it. This will definitely not be the last garment that I make with Knit Picks palette. Now, I did say that to a few people that asked me, I don't have anything to compare it to. I haven't used any other yarn similar to this. I mean, I know that there's a lot of other brands of yarn that are fingering weight, 100% wool, you know, good for color work, a hardy yarn. I haven't used anything that's comparable to this, but I absolutely love it. So from, you know, what my experience, I'm definitely an advocate for using this yarn. And then for the, so this is the main color, and then my contrast color, I am using a mini skein that Mary Ann of Rock Islander sent to me, and this is from Amber of Maker's Haven. So I thought that would be really fitting to use a little mini skein from Amber for this make along that Amber and Kay are hosting. So this is so exciting. I'm really, really loving this project. I love how Amber's yarn is working up into this color work because it's just so beautiful with the black as the background. It really makes the colors in the yarn stand out, I think. So I have finished the chart up, you know, I finished the butterfly, just finished it. I'm absolutely loving it. I love how her yarn has these little pops of blue, and this one just happened to go right on that little face on the butterfly. So cute. Okay, and then, so, oh, I should say, you start this project with the base of the little bag. I started with a crocheted provisional cast on, which I had never done before, so that was great to be able to try that technique, and it was super simple. And then the base of this has this really nice texture. It is called, I was going to try to remember, but now I've forgotten again. It is called a nubbly tweed. It says that it is like, it looks like moss stitch, but is denser. And I think it will, you know, serve as a good base for this little bag. So anyway, then after you work this piece flat, then you pick up stitches all around the edge and start working in the round. So on the edges are these pretty little flower designs. So it's so fun that the color work just goes all the way around the bag. Here is the other butterfly. Isn't that, I just think her yarn is just working up so wonderfully. Oh, I just love how it's working up. And here is the other flower side. Here's a little progress keeper from, also from Mary Ann of Rock Islander. It's showing me the beginning of the round, so I don't lose track of where I'm at in the chart. But this has been really addictive as well, you know, because I just wanted to see that butterfly form. It's so much fun to and to see how the colors are gonna show up. It's been so much fun. And you know, it's a tiny project, so it's working up very quickly. I am using size 0 needles, which are 2mm. And these are my mini twist set. I love the cable on the mini twist to help. It really helps me to prevent getting ladders because the cord is very, very flexible. Yeah, so, oh, and then I also, so at the top, you might have noticed on the picture that I will need to go in and put on this clasp. So in the pattern, there is a link to the recommended shop that they got their clasps from. It's an Etsy shop, and there's just a link in the pattern. So I looked for a few other places that would sell these, but I couldn't find anything that was the right measurement. So I just went to the shop that they recommended and got this brass colored one. So yeah, I'm excited to attach that. It does have this little blemish right here. See that? I don't know if that will, I can't really tell if it's just like, I don't know if I can clean it off or not. I can't rub it off, but it seems like it's just maybe I can work it out somehow. Anyway, it wasn't very expensive, I don't think. So yeah, just absolutely loving this, and I'm thinking it will work up pretty quickly. So the steeking comes in, well, I'm not sure. As I've mentioned before, I'm not very good at reading ahead in patterns to find out what I do next. I just do the next thing. It's a good, you know, life, you know, way to live your life. Just do the next thing. I tell my kids that with their schooling, or if they're looking forward, we're just going to do the next thing. We're just doing, you know, just focus on that. Or even, you know, if I start to get stressed out about anything, I try to remind myself, just do the next thing. That's how I tackle my knitting projects as well. I just do the next thing. Anyway, it looks like, here's a picture. I think it's the edges, you know, where you put in the clasp. Somehow you will cut the edges and then you'll put in the, you know, the claspy thing there. So it doesn't look like a huge steek, so I thought this was going to be, I thought this would be a good project as my first steeked project. I couldn't find a steeked project that I really wanted to do besides a big cardigan or something like that was going to be very daunting to tackle as my first steeked project, until I heard Kay mention that she was going to start this make-along for bags, and then I thought, I wonder if there's any projects that I could look into that would have steeking and would be a bag. So I just searched for that, and that's how I found this one. So I'm so glad that I did, because I'm really excited, and I think it will be a neat little purse to have for notions or something like that. That's how I think I'll probably use it, is I'll just keep it near my knitting to have little notions in and things like that. That's what I will use the most, more than like a money purse or anything. I wouldn't get as much use out of that because, well, I just know I wouldn't. I use my knitting stuff more than I use my purse. So, oh, my son put in a drawing. This is the empty tomb. Easter was just yesterday, so that's why. Picture of the empty tomb. Okay. I am really excited to work on that some more as well. I hope you can't hear that rumbling outside. My husband is getting a tire fixed on one of his tractors. So there's this big truck outside that is noisy. Okay, my next work in progress is in my Allison Barnes collection project bag. And you have seen this if you've tuned in before, because I've been working on this since the beginning of the year. And this is my Doodler shawl, which is by Stephen West. I am doing this along with Christy Glass, who is hosting a Doodler Cal, which she only works on Sundays, and that is what I am doing as well. So since I last podcasted, I have actually had 2 Sundays. But yesterday, as I mentioned, was Easter, and we had company over for Easter, and so I didn't get very much knitting time yesterday, but I did get a little bit. So last time I podcasted, I was right here where this pumpkin pie stitch marker or progress keeper is, which is by Amanda of Little Bitty Delights. So that shows you from there to the squirrel stitch marker is the progress that I was able to get done 2 Sundays ago. And then yesterday I was just able to get, we could probably count them, 1, 2, I don't know, 6 rows maybe? 5 or 6 rows, probably 6 rows. Anyway, they are short rows right now, so it's not working the full length of the shawl, but anyway, it's a little, the knitting is a bit deeper on this end, and then it's much more shallow on this end as you do the different short rows. So let's see. This shawl started over here, and you work these rows back and forth, getting bigger and bigger with these different wedges. And then I worked the cabling along this side, and then picked up all these stitches in the deep purple color, and am working the edging. So I am on the 4th wedge, the fourth of 4 wedges. So I'm on the last wedge, and then I will go in. My plan is to do the picot edging. I think that's the one that I have chosen to do. There's several different bind offs or edgings that you can do that are included with this pattern. I think he has 3 different options that he has included in the pattern, and I am planning to do the picot edging. I am using my own hand-dyed yarn again on my Radiant base, which is 70% superwash merino and 30% silk. It is a single ply fingering weight. The colors I have used, the lightest color is called Embrace, the deep orange is called Enriched, and the deep purple is called Honor. So yeah, these rows now are super, super long. The stitch count is at 580 stitches right now, I believe. Yeah. And after this section, I will be up to 644 stitches. That, I think, is the most stitches I've ever knitted, as far as I know, in one project. I don't think I've ever had a row that big before, so. Anyway, I am loving it. It is such a fun and really easy knit. It's all garter stitch. I mean, besides the cabling, but you know, all of the actual stitches are knit stitches. I don't think there's any purls in here from what I can remember anyway. It's all knit stitches, so that's really nice. Getting close, but you know, these edges or these last rows they take a long time. So anyway, I didn't even make a full pass back and forth. I took this on my way to church yesterday, and I wasn't even able to make a full pass on the ride to church and back because it's just it takes a long time to get across. So anyway, loving it. I'm hopeful. I think I said this before, but I'm thinking maybe 2 more Sundays, maybe, hopefully. But I'm enjoying it, so it's no big deal. And the Cal that Christy is hosting goes in for the whole year, I think. So she just announced the prize for it, which, you know, of course there's several people in joining, but the prize is just so cool. She got a skein of yarn she had Stephen West pick out a skein of yarn from his booth at Stephen and Penelope's booth at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. and then she had him sign the label, which is so cool. It'd be such a fun prize, such an amazing prize. That was really clever of her to think of doing that. I get kind of sad when I put this away on Sundays, because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to work on this until next Sunday. And I know I don't have to do it that way, but it is also nice just to have this be my Sunday project. It gives me a break, you know, from the other projects and kind of cleanses my palette or whatever. So I really like that. I think I might do that once I finish this. I might do that sort of an idea again where I only work on one particular thing on Sundays. So we'll see. Okay, my next work in progress is in another My Creative Frenzies project bag. I love the work that she does. So nice and cheerful. And I am working on my blueberry waffle socks. So I have made quite a bit of progress on these. This ice cream progress keeper is marking where I was last time I podcasted. This is also from Amanda of Little Bitty Delights. As you can see, I am working these 2 at a time, which I really am enjoying working 2 at a time. I am using size 1 needles, which are 2.25 millimeter. I cast on 64 stitches into the 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing for the ribbing, and then I increased to 68 stitches for the leg of the sock because that is a better stitch count for me so that it's not too tight. I like a really long leg, so you can see this is the leg here, and then as I've started the stockinette, that will be the foot of the sock. I'm going to go back in and put in an afterthought heel. So I usually work about 70 rows of the foot before I start the toe. So I've still got quite a ways to go on the foot of the socks, but they are coming along really nicely. I am using for the cuff, and I'll also use it for the heel and the toes, I am using my own hand-dyed yarn on my pitter patter base. Again, that's my 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend in the healing colorway, which is the colorway that I have for raising money for breast cancer research. 50% of the proceeds for this colorway are donated to breast cancer research, and that was dyed in collaboration with Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. She came out with a sock pattern called Katie Socks that also, the sales of that pattern, 50% of her proceeds also go to breast cancer research. So check that out if you haven't yet, because it's a beautiful pattern. And anyway, the main color or yarn that I'm using for the main color the other color that I'm using for these socks is Knit Picks Felici in the Hopscotch colorway. And I had mentioned last time I podcasted that I had to rework the yarn so that they would be matching because there was a knot in one of the skeins and it threw off the pattern of the color changes and everything. So I am working that out. I've got just a hand wound ball of the other, for the other sock to make, because I wanted them to match. So it's working out just fine. Hopefully I won't have a knot in the other skein. Again, the pattern is Blueberry Waffle Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry, but I believe that it uses a different weight and maybe stitch count as well, but I'm just using the pattern. It's just a 4-row repeat, very simple and easy, and it's a free pattern. So I really love the texture that it's giving. It just makes, Knit Picks Felici is soft anyway, and then the squishiness of this pattern is so wonderful. I really love it. Okay, my last work in progress, I know I've got quite a few, but I've moved this to my beautiful, beautiful project bag from Marianne of Rock Islander. I did have a few people ask me if she sells these, and unfortunately she does not, but she is so talented, and I was so blessed to be able to do a swap with her to receive this. So that's how I was fortunate enough to get one. It has this cute little bunny rabbit pole on it, which I love. Whoops, yeah. And okay, in here is a project that is driving me a little bit crazy. to be quite honest. I am making the lace dress body pattern, which is by, I'm going to put it down below because I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name. And, okay, I am making the 9-month size. I mentioned last time that I showed this project that I was having a really hard time getting gauge, and I was nervous about how this was going to turn out and if it was going to be the right size because I don't have a 9-month-old to try this on. Anyway, one of the viewers, Brianna, thank you so much, Brianna, for your awesome suggestion. She suggested she said just take it to the store and hold it up to a 9-month onesie, but I just bought one because it was only a couple of dollars. So I got this cute little 9-month onesie that I thought I could gift along with the finished project once it's done. Now the onesies only come in 6 to 9 month size, and then it goes up to 12 month, I believe, for onesies sizes. But that was just such an awesome suggestion. So again, thank you so much, Brianna, for that suggestion. So anyway, this is an awesome guide, but I am trying to take into consideration that it's 6 to 9 months, and the pattern is just, there's either a 6-month size, well, there's a 3-month size, a 6-month size, 9-month, or 12-month for this pattern, and I'm making the 9-month size, or trying to. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, as this might be, what I make, I might want to make it a little bit bigger than this, just because this has a different size range. Does that make sense? Okay. I am using Knit Picks Lindy chain. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Lindy chain in the Sagebrush colorway. It is a fingering weight, 70% linen, 30% Pima cotton. And I'm not enjoying working with this yarn. It's called Lindy chain because it is actually chained together, as you can hopefully see there. And I'm really having a hard time with that splitting on me a lot, and it also is just not smooth as you are knitting with it. It just kind of pulls as it doesn't have a smooth flow as you're knitting with it, and it's not very enjoyable to work with. But this is going to be a summer garment for a baby that is I think a great niece of a lady that I go to church with. She asked me to make this, so that's why I'm making this. And I'm happy to make it for her, but I'm not enjoying it. Both because of the problems that I had with the gauge that is now affecting the size, and the yarn I'm not loving either. Okay, but I'm gonna keep at it. I am not gonna give up, but I just want to show you the difference in size here. Okay, here's this cute little onesie, and here's my ginormous thing. So it's way too big, and I've decided to start over. So the pattern calls for you to use, shoot, I don't have it nearby, but I believe I've had to go down quite a few needle sizes, and I still wasn't getting gauge. So right now I am using size 1 needles, which are 2.25 millimeter for the main body, well, for pretty much everything except this garter ridge that you start with. But and I think the fabric is good. I think it's good. I don't want to go down any smaller than size 1. I just don't. I'm being stubborn about that. So I've decided to go down to the 3-month size using the same needle size, and from what I have measured and calculated, I think that will be a much better fit. I'm really hopeful that this will work out. From what I have measured, I'm about 32 stitches too big around, and the size 3-month size will take it down to quite a bit closer to that size. So it will still be a little bit bigger than this onesie, but like I said, I want it to be, I think it should be a little bit bigger than this onesie. Okay, anyway, last time I showed you this project, I had only worked this back piece, which started off separately. So I had worked this back piece up to this deer progress keeper, and then I worked the front piece up to the same point, and then you join in the round, and I worked some short rows for the bottom area here. So the rest of this is just worked in stockinette for this section. But I got to this point and I had gotten the onesie previous to getting this far, but I kept thinking, oh, I think it'll be okay. And then once I got to this point, I'm like, no, this is way too big. So anyway, I have come to terms with it that I'm going to start over. I had thought about, you know, it really needs to be taken in like 2 inches on each side to get to the right size. And I had thought about doing some surgery and just like sewing up the sides, but I'm just not confident in that working out, and I want to be able to use this yarn again if I need it. So anyway, I've decided just to start over, and I'm really hopeful that the 3-month size will work out to be the right size that I need. So I'm gonna power through. So yeah, it'll be all right. All right, so those are all of my whips that I have worked on since the last time I podcasted. So I'm super excited that I have received some more squares for the 2018 Collaboration Afghan, which I am organizing. This is the second time that I have done a Collaboration Afghan. So last year I did a Collaboration Afghan where I asked several knitters and crocheters to work up a square that was 7 inches, and then they mailed them to me. I pieced them together, and then that Afghan was given away on Instagram. But this year I decided, since I have started dyeing yarn since, well, I've been doing it for a little over a year now, but I thought it would be fun to have this year's Collaboration Afghan made up by all indie dyers. So I have 48 indie dyers that I am working with this year for the Collaboration Afghan, and I've asked them also to knit or crochet a 7-inch square using any one of their colorways. So I have received squares from 2 more indie dyers. The first one is from Fluffy You Fiber Farm, who is Katrina. And she sent me this beautiful square, which is on her Spring Lilacs colorway. I did ask each indie dyer if they had a tag to attach it to their square, just because that's so nice to be able to identify the square once it's worked into the Afghan. So she was able to attach that, but it's not a requirement, and so many people don't have those handy, so that's perfectly fine if they don't attach one, but it is nice that she was able to. I don't know the name of this base. I'll try to insert it if I hear back from her, but here is the list of different fibers that are on her business card. So I'm assuming that it's one of these fibers, which are just wonderful. I really wonder what it is. It's got a wonderful halo to it, and there's this I believe it's cabled. Yeah, it looks cabled to me. A little cabled pattern worked into that as well, and the color is so gorgeous. I absolutely love that colorway. So thank you so much, Katrina. Such a beautiful square. I love it. And then I received 3 squares from Terry of Whole Knit and Caboodle. She said that she could not decide which colorway to use, so she sent me 3. I love how her business card has these rulers attached or printed on there. It's so nice. It's also on her, she has it at the top of her stationery as well. So anyway, she sent me 3 because she couldn't decide. Now I have to decide. How am I going to decide? Okay, the first one is this beautiful purple, and this is on her French Quarter colorway. I love the texture in that as well. So beautiful. These are all on her base that is 100% superwash merino. Beautiful. The second one is called, the colorway is called Bourbon Street. That is beautiful too. How am I gonna decide? I guess I'll just see what colors, maybe, you know, what will work best with the other colors that are in the Afghan. I'll just have to choose which one is best. And the third one is, the colorway is called Orleans. So she has a French Quarter, Bourbon Street, Orleans. She has a theme going on there with her colorway names. That's absolutely stunning as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Terry. That's so nice of you to send 3, but you're making my job a teensy bit harder because I have to choose. No, I don't really mind. It's so nice of you to send me so many. So excited to see this Afghan coming together piece by piece, and I will be sure to continue to share with you as I receive more squares, and once I start piecing it together, of course, I'll share my progress with you on that project. Okay, I did another swap with a wonderful maker, Susie, of, she has an Etsy shop called Tiny Toffee Designs, which she just sells sewing patterns for quilted items. And she asked if I would be willing to do a swap with her, and I said, of course. I mean, her sewing is so beautiful. She doesn't sell sewn projects, I don't believe, right now in her Etsy shop. She just has patterns anyway. But she made this beautiful project bag. Can you see the paintbrush? Here, let me open it so you can see it better. Oh, it's such a beautifully made bag. Isn't that gorgeous? All of her patterns, if you sew, you should totally check out Tiny Toffee Designs, because all of her different pieced designs are just stunning and intricate looking and so gorgeous. I just love this so much. And then the inside has this fun fabric as well. I love even the drawstring fabric. So great. I love it. So we did a swap. She's in Germany, so that was so much fun. She asked if I would like anything in particular, and I said, well, I would love to try some treats from Germany if you don't mind. I always like trying different things. So she sent me these yummy treats. I took German in high school for 4 years, so I should be able to pronounce this, but I graduated a long time ago. Fröhliches Eiersuchen, maybe. Sorry, Germans, I'm butchering it, I'm sure. But anyway, my heritage is half German, so that's why I took German. My maiden name was Dietrich. Some Kinder Schokolade. My kids have their eye on this one. And, oh, this is so cute. Little egg. I don't know what that is. It's got like a spoon with it. Maybe it's like soft on the inside. I don't know. That will be an interesting one. And of course it's all in German, which I don't remember any German hardly. So I can't really understand it, but I love it, so thank you. And then she also sent me quite a few little samples of yarn from Molly of A Homespun House, who is also in Germany. And these are beautiful. So here's this mini skein. I don't have any of the names because they're all, she said they're all one of a kind. At least these 2 mini skeins are. But the blues on that are so gorgeous. I love it. I don't know the name of the base either, but this one has some silver stellina in it. Those colors are really fun. Beautiful. It's like a painting. So pretty. And then she sent me this little bag that is full of tiny little balls of yarn. I can show them to you. let's see, there's these two that I think are the same colorway. One has some sparkle in it and one doesn't, or Stellina. But that's a beautiful color. If any of you recognize these colorways from Molly, I'd love to know what they are exactly, but Susie she didn't put tags on any of them, so I'm not exactly sure. There's these three that have some greens in them, but they're all a little different, I think. This middle one has some silver Stellina, so does this one. Very pretty. I love this one. Ooh, I love the rust in there. That's gorgeous. So pretty. There's these. Both have a bit of yellow in them. This one has some green speckles. And then these two are so gorgeous. Purple and gold. And this one has some navy blue in there, as well as the purple and pink and a little gold. So fun. I'm so excited to use these in my scrappy projects. And I'm not sure what I'll use these for. Obviously these are a little bit more yardage, but so excited to have these. So thank you so much, Susie. It was so fun to do a swap with you, and I'm so glad that you contacted me and that we were able to connect through this swap. I did get a new lovely thing in the mail. So I watch the Sellapalooza Knits podcast, which is hosted by Elizabeth. If you have not checked out her podcast, do. It is so wonderful. She's so lovely, and it's so fun to watch her. I really enjoy her podcast. And she shared a new acquisition that she had received a few weeks ago, I guess, for these cute, adorable little stitch markers that are from Million Dots on Etsy. And she put on her stories that that shop was having an update, and I got these adorable stitch markers. Oh my goodness, they're so lifelike. I just love them so much. I fell in love with them when she shared them on her podcast, and when she put that on her stories, I went right away to the shop and got these, and I'm so excited about them. These also came from Germany, and she also sent this cute little package of gummies, which is fun. So anyway, let me show you these in a little closer up. So the set that I ordered, it was a set of 6. Oh my goodness, look at that. She even has lighter colored sections in there. It's so lifelike. This is incredible work. I just can't believe it. So blackberry, a raspberry. Oh my goodness, they're so amazing. I can't believe it. A blueberry. Oh, that's amazing. Isn't that amazing? I can't quite grasp how she does this. A strawberry. And then 2 new berries, new to me berries. I don't think these grow around here anyway. I've never heard of them or seen them. This one is called, I had to look them up, because this one is called a lingonberry. It's so cute. Looks like it's similar, I mean, I would have called it a red currant. That's the only thing that I think is similar to it, but, and I don't know. I've never heard of a lingonberry, but it's very, very cute, and I love it. And I bet they look exactly like this. And then this one I love as well. This is called a cloudberry. Isn't that cute? Look at the coloration on that again. That's so stunning. Oh, I love it so much. So thank you so much for sharing, Elizabeth. Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to get this. And then she sent along an extra one. It is this adorable banana, and it's even, it's just incredible. It's so lifelike. I hope you can see. You see she's even got some like brown spots on there. Oh my goodness, it's just, I'm just floored by her artistry in making these. So incredibly lifelike. So fun. I love them. So that was a little treat that I got, and I'm going to enjoy using those so much. All right. The last thing I have for you is my shawl set. So every week I try to show a set of 3 skeins from my shop, my Etsy shop, where I sell my hand-dyed yarn. And I just like to show a set of 3 skeins that would work well together in a shawl. So my set for this week is right here. So I have this picked out for a future project. I'm not sure when I will cast it on, but I am really loving this combination. So you have seen these outer 2 colorways before. This is a pretty new colorway that is called Gaze. And I really love the tone of that pinky purple. It's pretty vibrant and I love it. And the solid black is my Night colorway, and it's not really tonal at all. It's just a solid black. So I use this a lot in several different projects, and I'm wanting to cast on a pair of socks using this colorway as well, because I just want a pair of black socks, even though they're going to be kind of maybe not so fun to knit, but anyway. And this is a new colorway, which is called Friend. So it is this pretty light purplish base, and then it has lots of speckles with hot pink, some green, some deep plum, blue, there's some teal in there. So it's got quite a few different colors speckled in there. So that is my new Friend colorway, and I think that these 3 together are wonderful, and I am excited to someday, maybe not real soon, but someday make something with these. And one more thing I did want to share with you is some dream knitting. Well, my plan for my next cast on. I am hoping to join in the Summer Fibers knit along that Selma of Little Big Knits is hosting, and I am planning to start this cardigan, the Asher cardigan by Christina Dene. And I'm going to be making it in the same color pretty much. It's a different yarn though. I am going to be using Knit Picks Cotton, which is a DK weight, 70% cotton and 30% linen. So that's my plan for my next cast on, hopefully soon. So like I said, yesterday was Easter. We had a wonderful time. We had family over for Easter meal. We went to the early church service, which was wonderful. Well, I hate getting up. I'm not a morning person. So getting all of 5 children ready for church that early in the morning, the service started at 8:30. So it wasn't like a sunrise service or anything, but it was early enough. Anyway, getting them all ready that early was a little hard, and I didn't get up as early as I wanted to, but we made it in time. In fact, I think we were a little bit early. So anyway, so we were able to go to the service, which was wonderful. And then we had family over for lunch, and I only had to make the ham, and that was it. The rest, everybody brought everything else. So that was wonderful. I had some rolls as well, but I didn't make them. We just bought them. So it was not too hard for me. I cleaned the house, of course, but as far as cooking, my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law brought over everything else. So that was so wonderful. And we had a wonderful time. We did a little Easter egg hunt with the children. It was super cold outside yesterday and today still. So we decided to do that inside. We normally do our Easter egg hunt with the kids outside in the yard, but we decided to do it inside yesterday because it was so chilly. But the children still had a great time, and we had a wonderful time together. And anyway, I hope that you all had a wonderful Easter as well, and I hope you all have a great week ahead. And thank you again so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you have liked this episode, I would really appreciate you giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to this channel if you haven't yet. Thanks again so much for joining me. Bye.